Welcome to the Disrupt Now podcast, episode 70.
What makes people excited is progress. You don't have to be at the goal yet to feel alive again. You have to make progress.
Just do right. Right may not be expedient. It may not be profitable, but it will satisfy your soul.
What matters most is finding your inner purpose.
Welcome to the Disrupt Now podcast, created by Natalie Viglione. This podcast is designed to help humans embrace change, transform, and evolve. Natalie is a cycle breaker, truth seeker, a priestess and healer, teacher, and a guide. This podcast's intent is to live and breathe truth, find and connect with authentic stories, and help raise consciousness. The purpose is to heal and awaken humans, to help you live the life that you want to live, a life of freedom and purpose. This will provide you with the tools, tips, and techniques to help you embrace the fact that it's necessary to disrupt the status quo. Please join Natalie and her guests on the journey to move humanity to a much higher level of consciousness and create more mindful conversations for us to explore together.
Hi and welcome. I'm very excited to sit down today to have a very in-depth discussion with Lian Monley. And after 20 years of diving deep into disrupting physical and wellness cultures by really emphasizing the integration of all the energy bodies, whether we're looking at the physical, the mental, the emotional, the nutritional, and the spiritual, and into the design and implementation of every treatment plan and program, recognizing that every person has their own unique blueprint waiting to be authentically expressed. Lian has left no stone unturned, and she has moved through her own journey, which we're going to discuss today, moving out of pain, moving into wellness, and that continuous learning process that takes you on this transformational journey. And so many healers go on their own journeys to heal. And so we'll hear about that. And Lian's career has led her to all areas all over the globe. And she's worked with an array of clients, from Mariah Carey to CEOs to elite athletes. So she's worked with a lot of humans. And currently she is very focused, and we're going to focus in on the gut. So welcome. I am so excited to have this conversation with you today. It is so important. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here. Obviously being present and happy to sit down and share a little bit of an insight into my journey and where that's taken me, and to then be able to help other people as well. So it's awesome.
It is so awesome. And I am so grateful to be connected, because we have discussed this. Many people go on their own health journeys, and, we get to this point in our journey where we don't know where to go, or we realize maybe people that we've worked with didn't have really the integration. And I love that you look at all the energy bodies, like all of these components of the holistic self. Great. So let's talk about your journey, and how did you get to that place of understanding that, we got to look to the gut here, people. I mean, this is one of the most important places in the body where dis-ease occurs. So let's dive in.
Okay.
Dive into the gut.
I'll track back as to sort of how I got to that as well. And as you just said, Natalie, and my career or interest in the human body started when I was 16. I left school early. I wasn't interested in university or something else pulling me in a different direction. And I actually went and studied beauty therapy at the time, but it wasn't just about the face, the entire human body, our cells, our nerves, our musculoskeletal system, and full body work as well, full biomechanics. So that was the start of my journey of the learning about the human body body, which then led me into working with it on a physical level, all right? So I went into the biomechanical side and working with the body as a trainer as well. So, and that was interesting. So that was because I was working with people on a physical level every day, and you'd be giving them guidance to what to maybe eat, but there was many signs to see that people were working hard and doing the things to the best of their ability that you would guide them to do. However, the results weren't really optimum. I'm thinking, what is going on here? Right? These people are training really hard, and apparently they're eating what I'm giving them, but they're still a little bit overweight. They're not feeling great. They feel tired and sluggish, and what's going on? So the light bulb went on. There's more to this. There's way more to it's not one component. So, which led me down the track of starting to work with and trained with Paul Chek. Paul Chek, Chek, and he's in America. Incredible human that has studied the human body for the entire life. And his philosophy is the body is a whole, all right? And we treat the body physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, nutritionally. We must go into the body and treat it like that. We don't treat it in the old, I call it the old paradigm now of systemized system. So the endocrine system, all right, the musculoskeletal system, et cetera, okay? Because our systems are not separate. It's not a competition for who's going to heal what system. We're one system. So years and years and years of studying this and practicing this and using people, and then many different even private contracts where I would be actually living with people as well, live, travel, and I'm immersed in their world 24/7. So that was an incredible learning snapshot as to what is people's relationship with food? How are their bodies actually working? Are they doing what I'm actually telling them? What is their perception of my guidance? And this was life altering as well as a practitioner, because a lot of the time people's perception of what you're teaching them and training them to do and what they actually do is two different things.
Oh,
that was like,
yes.
Wow. Yeah, totally. So, and then as the years went on and on and on, and then I'm like, all these problems started rising, the sicknesses, the anxiety, depression, the thyroid stuff, the autoimmune diseases, the IBS, everything. I could go on and hundreds of things of symptoms. And it's like, where are all these symptoms coming from? Why are people just taking a pill to treat one symptom? It's like, I don't think this is how it goes. So it led me down, having learned 15 years ago about the gut. I was just wanting any information around it on a holistic level. How can we heal this gut? Yeah. And, the gut being your second brain is so, so important. And it's like, let's venture more into this. Why, how important is the gut in the body? What is it there for? What does it do? And why are so many symptoms arising that is related to the gut? So that's,
yes. And that is, I think that is the first kind of catalyst to trip into the conversation around what happens when, because I think that we can, you were working with people on the physical level, training, and, you see, I can attest to working out no less than 4 times a week, doing HIIT, just killing my body. And when I didn't know about gut health, I didn't understand it. I knew that it was important, but to find that education, you have to really find it. You have to search, you have to hunt. Whereas hopefully soon, like you said, the old paradigm is trying to hunt for this information. Yes. But if you're doing everything right and getting no results, totally in quotation marks for the everything right, because do we really know everything? And not getting the results, there's something else.
Yeah.
There's something else.
That's exactly what it's about. And it's about, excuse me, educating people that if this is going on, why is that going on? And then why is that going on? And why, until we hit the root cause of actually why the body is reacting the way it is reacting. Yeah.
Right. And so on your journey, did you hit any moments in time where you had to go within and heal and understand? And what did those moments kind of look like? Because I think that we all need to understand, again, that many healers that go into this modality, like you were drawn to it so young, it's because it's something bigger. It's something more. It's a calling. It's not really something you just kind of go, oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sounds good. That's not how it works.
Sounds good.
Sure. Whatever. Yeah.
Until you're in it, and then you're like, there's no, and it's when you're in it, it's a one way. It's like, there is no turning back. There is absolutely no, and it's not, no matter how much pain is involved in that, no matter how raw that becomes, it is an absolute calling, and you're just being pulled. It's like a vortex, and what is for you will come to you on any level that you are prepared for, and you can take on. As a human being. Nothing comes to you unless you're ready for it and can deal with it to help you evolve to the next level. So there has been many turning points in my life through discovering many different things, obviously. And I think one of the first times in my life when my body became very, very sick through chronic fatigue syndrome. And I didn't understand why. I was a trainer at the time, banging out 50 sessions a week and go. I was drinking way too much coffee, but I was eating healthy food, and I was in bed at 8:00 at night. But my body started to break down, and I just didn't, at the time, had no idea why. In retrospect, looking back now, there was a lot of reasons why. There was a lot of emotional baggage there. There was a lot of trauma going on. There was a lot of me not taking responsibility because I didn't know how, and covering it up through drugs and alcohol. It was like, holy shit. All right, looking back on that, I was like, there was a lot going on, right? So, and it takes for a corrective experience generally for people to acknowledge what actually is going on, and on all of those levels. So, and that, looking at that, it is super important to look at that as an absolute whole. So the chronic fatigue, I was in bed for 3 months. And that led me to, I wasn't eating organic food at the time, and it led me to eating organic food, and it led me to slowly starting to these things. And I started training with, the holistic model with Chick, and that's what started to integrate all these things that I was learning and doing healing at the same time as well. That's just layer upon layer of starting to learn more about myself and start to tear the walls down, the shadows down, the masks down. Who am I? What am I really about? All of those things, which is so incredibly important until for us to be able to step into our whole self and who we are as human beings to connect with ourselves. Yeah.
Right. And understanding that, when you really start getting into, like you said, you start seeing these things in the past that you're like, oh, maybe that wasn't the best thing for me. I mean, I had many binge drinking moments in my past 20 years. And I mean, more so way before this journey started, about 5 years ago. But it's incredible that when I look back, you realize, okay, I understand that there were pieces of instances where I wasn't completely kind, nor was I in the process of healing myself as I was going. But when you're doing all the other right things and you feel like those moments in time were so few and far between, they shouldn't cause all these issues.
Yeah.
Well, again, like you just said, it's so incredibly important to look at all the different components of the self and emotional baggage, or, a trauma happens and then you think you're okay, but you never really dealt with it. Where does that go?
Yeah, that's it. It stores. It's exactly right. Cellular memory, and that's where does it go? It just sits there. That's where right. It's it's stored, and our body as a physical absolutely absorbs every thought, feeling, word, movement, all of it together. To be, and for people, when they start to understand that, they start to become more aware of those things.
Exactly. So when someone steps into your parameters to move into a healing journey, what does your process kind of look like? And let's talk about as well, because I think this will roll right into it, your perspective of the gut and what that really looks like in terms of holistic health and integrative health for all the different components of us.
I was sort of going back in relation to, like, with the gut being the second brain, right? And the absolute importance of that. So, being the second brain, and then we've got the second brain that's got the vagus nerve going up to the main brain, right? So, our gut holds 90 up to 90% of all the bacteria and the pathogens in the body, and all of the above as well. So, and it's like with physical well-being, the importance of taking down inflammation, because our gut, the first point of call is inflammation. Okay, this is the number one with the gut. All right, when people have gut problems, they have an inflamed gut. And it's people say, no, I'm not inflamed. I'm not inflamed. And it's like, well, nearly every single person actually is inflamed. It depends what they're putting in their bodies and how they're putting it into their bodies. In fact, I've never met anybody in my life, bar one, maybe Paul Check, that doesn't have inflammation, but he would have it also, on days that So the importance of that gut. Now, the gut distributes everything to all the different organs as well. One of the main important processes with the gut alongside nutrition is breathing. How are you breathing? Breathing is at the top of the totem pole. If we're not breathing, we're dead. So how are we breathing? What is that breathing? Is the breathing upper respiratory, short, tight, into the chest, pulling our bodies forward even more, same as what the computer is, locking down, cross syndrome on the front of the body, all right? So we're tight and our necks are down like this and we're tapping away on our computers, all right? Or are our shoulders down? Are we relaxed? Are we diaphragmatically breathing from here down? Are we creating, giving our system an environment in which it can heal in? So by breathing properly diaphragmatically, it's like a pump system for the body, a natural pump system for blood supply to the organs as well. And then you're bringing in the components of the water and hydration, all right, to help all those organs. So if you're not having and doing that, then everything is completely out in that respect.
Right. And so where do you even start? I mean, so it feels like so much, but it's really not. Like, yeah. It's not. It's pretty, like, we can condense it, right?
We absolutely can condense it. And look, where do I start with people? A good question. Because there is a lot, okay, what you said. So, and let's simplify that. But when I work with people, it's about getting a snapshot of where they are. So I am working with, let's say, all the pieces of a jigsaw puzzle, all right? It's like, you give me all the pieces of your puzzle and let's put that puzzle together, all right? So we can build an optimum balanced platform to be able to get your body back to a state of homeostasis with no stone left unturned. And that's where the real learning and the platform is with that. So, and that's the beginning of looking at all of that. It's looking, once again, it's the body as a whole. It's not that here in the moment and now. Because that's the only way people are going to get healthy, is by learning about all those things about their body.
Yes. Which isn't something I'm a little flabbergasted learning all the things that I've learned, because it kind of smacks you in the face. You think you know. Yeah. And again, you think you're doing the right things, but then you realize, like, okay, we kind of have, like you stated it. It's a blueprint. We have DNA, we have our blood types, we have the biomarkers, we have genes, we have, so we have a blueprint. Why aren't we figuring that blueprint out at birth? Could you imagine how different our lives would be? Here, this is what you need to eat your whole life.
Yeah. I definitely, as you know, Natalie, this is where it is going more and more and more.
It is.
As we're evolving into this totally, it won't be so foreign. And the more we get it out there and educate people around it, it's absolutely where things are going. Because, the generations is more, the people that are learning now as well, the younger people, their babies, they're learning. It's like, I have 7 nieces and nephews, all under the age of 8. And these kids are amazing. We educate them around good food, good sleep. There's only limited time on the iPads because that's just disastrous for kids as well. They don't have sugar. Everything, all the food is homemade. There's no preservatives. There's no chemicals. These kids meditate as well. Yeah, these kids do little ceremonies in the backyard to acknowledge and appreciate Mother Earth for what it is and how much she gives us to be able to survive. It's how we survive. That's who we are. That is where the understanding comes in as a whole, as a collective, and consciousness, right? So start them young. There's no,
yes.
Wow, what a gift. I wish I'd learnt meditation at the age of 3. They start at 3 and 4, but they do everything we do. They're immersed in what we show them. That's how it goes, right? Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that is such a beautiful new paradigm. I am a little jealous.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what the word meditation was until I stepped into my power, after you get out of wherever you're growing up, or you're lucky enough to be in that kind of home. And that's beautiful. And what a difference in our bodies that can make. Just the fact of, well, this actually is a really great question. So as you said, no sugar, no preservatives, breathing, getting back to nature. These are very simple things, but these are easy implementations. So what are some top things that you kind of roll in with clients on? Because I think there's usually threads of things that people just aren't doing pretty consistently.
Look, I always say hydration, because people just don't drink enough water, and they're just struggling. And they get up, and the liver in the body is just such a powerhouse. It works with over and tries to move through 2,000 chemicals a day for us. Our livers are doing a handover time from their healing between the hours of 3 or 4 in the morning to 6 a.m. And when we wake up and the liver's done all the hard work in the body, and then it's like it's handing over to us when we wake up and goes, what can you do now for me? That's really good. So we can be high in energy and alert in our minds and feel great for the day. And people go and have a coffee, like a double whatever espresso, And the poor liver's like, what are you doing to me? I've just been working all night. I've been doing all this hard work. And it was like, all I ask is for a little bit of water, hydration, all right, a really good quality water as well. Okay, 2 to 3 liters of water a day we should be having. But look at the quality. Don't tap water. It's filled with chemicals, toxins, all of the above. A lot of the bottled waters are very low quality waters. They're very hard. A lot of people say, oh, well, I go to the toilet so much, or the water. The worse the quality of water, the more you will go to the toilet. So a really good thing, actually, a tip here is if a lot of the filtered waters, if you're having filtered, add a pinch of Himalayan sea salt. Okay, that will bring up the mineral content of the water. So, but some of the better waters, there's great water filters and everything out there. But that's one thing to start with, the hydration. Daily mindfulness, all right? And to start with, everyone's like, oh, I can't do meditation, it takes too long, or you got to sit in some hippie lotus position or whatever. No, you don't have to do all that, right? Even be present. Just sit down. No devices, no noise. Sit with yourself. Acknowledge who you are. Just be in the now and start, if you want to start, if you haven't. I was trained in transcendental meditation, I think 12 years ago now, and I do that twice a day. And that is like brushing my teeth, all right? And mindfulness is truly the key to optimum health on so many levels, because it decompresses us. It's like letting air out of a tire, all right? It's just like, ooh. Okay, and we're all stressed. We live in a very stressful society, full of processed foods, full of challenges. Every single day we wake up to that. So you choose to repeat that process every day, or you choose to evolve and learn some techniques that are going to take us out of these stressed environments. Because stress is the number one key to massive digestive gut issues. All of the diseases that are coming in, all of the anxiety, everything, all right? It's the same, stress. So how can we work with the stress? We have to decompress. Yeah, we can ground ourselves as well. Grounding, super important. Most of us now, we're not designed to sit at computers all day. 8 hours is actually normally a good day for most people I talk to. Mm-hmm. They're 10, 12, 14 hours a day, slumped over the computer. They're dehydrated. Their minds are going like this. Sitting at a computer all day is like putting a PowerPoint into your body. It sucks you dry. So are you grounding? Are you balancing that at the end of the day? What foods are you doing? You're sitting in front of the computer like chewing and eating your food like a crazy person. No, this is why we get sick, yeah? You just got to take time. You got to just stop. You got to be present, be in the now. Be with your food as well. Chew your food till it's liquid, yeah? Let it digest properly, okay? Don't be sitting on a computer. Don't be listening to the news. Don't watch the news anyway, but...
that's a whole other topic, right?
Yeah. So, and Natalie, grounding for people is a massive, and so simple a healing tool. Get your shoes and socks off, guys. Get outside. If you're fortunate enough to be able to live near a beach, go to the beach, walk in the sand, connect with the ocean, connect with Mother Earth, the ground, all right? She will ground you and she will help to decompress your nervous system. Most of us are living every day in a state of fight and flight, which is our sympathetic nervous system. We need to drop it down into parasympathetic. So by however means is that done, by meditation. Breath work is another very, very good tool as well. There's many, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The grounding aspect has been a very big thing that, in fact, I through my journey, I realized something very important, which was, especially if you're living in big cities, you're like, I'm in New York City. The only nature that was quickly accessible is Central Park. How much can we say that that's nature? Zero. There's some grass that you can, but like our disconnection happens so fast. And I think often, and we're not even thinking about it. Like we don't even realize how disconnected we really are until you really sit down and go, oh, wow. When was the last time I sat under a tree and just felt it, just was with it?
That's it. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, it's very, very challenging. And people also find that once they, there's a certain, most people do sort of know these things anyway, because that's how we're built as human beings, right?
Yeah.
Back with our ancestors and, so, but a lot of people in the back of their mind, they've got these little voices going if that's what you should be doing. But because of that hamster wheel of life and the environment and everything, it's like it becomes all too hard until people have a corrective experience. They have to hit rock bottom to go to have to, the universe is giving them a big smack in the face. It's like you need to wake up. If you're not going to wake up from this incredibly horrid corrective experience, then you're not ever going to wake up. So it's a fork in the road. You can go left or you can go right. You choose.
Exactly. Free will. It's still your choice.
Yeah. Free will. That's it. Yeah.
And how? So when you're working with people, so where do you really want to guide people to first? Because I think everyone's coming in at all these different angles and places, right? What is the best way that people step into a program with you? Because I think that's really essential knowledge to have, because I think before we even get to the place of finding the healer that is right for us, we get into this place of like, well, I don't even know what's wrong. I don't even know what to say. Like, and we almost stop ourselves before we even move into engaging, right?
Yeah. So you would generally find with a good healer as well that you will know that when you have arrived at the healer you want to work with, all right, there is no sitting down and explaining every single kind of aspect of your life of pain point. They know, they get it, all right? That is a good healer, okay? That's a person that connects with you straight away and you feel like you've arrived home. That's what it is. It's like, oh my God, finally, like, I can't, that feeling is a feeling you can't even explain. It's like, wow. So, and it's super important to connect with the healer on those levels, and for you should be excited about what this person is saying, because they are painting a picture of you to be able to grasp all your little pieces of jigsaw puzzles and put your puzzle together for you. Of course, you're going to be doing the work with them, and that should be exciting. It's like there's a big picture there, all right? They're going to take you out of pain and do an incredible transition and transformation, all right, into a place that is whole. So if you're finding you're repeating, you've got any form of frustration that's coming up, all right, you're sitting there and you're frustrated, well, get up and walk away. It's not the right person. Listen to what your body is telling you as well. Okay, you are getting signals. We've all been guilty of this. And I've been to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of healers through my journey, because I did understand a lot more, and the frustration as well. And I got to the point where I actually would get up and walk away. I'd say, thank you very much, happy to pay. I wouldn't say I'm out of here, but I was in my mind.
Yeah.
Get me out of here. They don't get it. Yeah. But then, people I work with now, there's some truly incredible healers. So listen, you really do know, we all know, because we are our own biggest healers. All we need is somebody to help facilitate us with a toolkit, a wellness toolkit on any given day to be able to assist us to be the best we possibly can be, to heal on all levels. That's a good practitioner.
Yes. I can't. Yes, 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 and yes, and yes. And so I think that another element to this too is understanding the hard work that it takes to move through and the time and the how many times have you been asked, how long is this going to take?
every day. And with one symptom and what pill they can take. It's like, and before I used to be, I'm always polite, pretty polite, but it's like, come on, no, that's not that. So this is not how I work. This is, it's not an old paradigm here, right? You want to step up, you want to step out, you want to get down and dirty. You want to, rip off all those masks and shadows and layers and everything that is consuming you as a person and holding back from who you really think you are. If you're and lost, people are lost, right? They're so lost. Yeah, they don't know. They don't even really know who they are. So yeah, the work I call it. Mm-hmm. It's not easy, and I certainly never ever. And when I work with people, I don't work with everyone as well. They have to be ready for the work. I know when people are ready for the work. I feel it. I know it's words, it's psychology, it's all of different things. Yeah. Yep. And it can be brutal. This last year for me, 2020, look, it was a big, massive full year for everyone. And I thought I'd been through I've been doing healing for 20, 25 years on many different levels. And it gets, for me, it's layer upon layer. And when you think you've done healing, another one comes in. And I had incredibly, the year before that, I went into working with plant medicine with ayahuasca. And wow, profound experience, entirely blew my whole world open. The 20 years of healing that I'd done it felt like a millimeter compared to what I was shown and the realm that I was put into. And it just blew me open as a person. And that was tough. And that last year was a year for me of deep, deep shadow work. It was nasty. It was absolutely no tea party, that's for sure. And we are talking to the rawest of raw, on my knees, I am destroyed. It's like you've never cried so many tears. It felt like a lifetime of tears. The days went on and on and on, and then I'll come out of it again, and then I'll go back into it again. And I'm like, I never thought it was going to end. It was going into the deep darkness of who I was. All these shadows all these masks I was wearing. Who is that person? And the daily things that I thought, that I was having to cope with. And so the understanding, so ripping that down, the understanding of that and healing that changed my life, incredibly changed my life. So I was in a position then where I had 20 years of like being a practitioner and doing all these healings. And then I was integrated and work a lot with the plant medicines and truly all these things. And it was like, wow, okay, I now can work with all of this together. Yeah. And so when people come, and reverting back to your question, Natalie, about how long is this going to take? How long is a piece of string? Okay, everyone is different. Healing is not linear. It's not linear, guys. There is no set model. But when I work with people, I work from 1 to 3 months on a personal level, that is, and it's normally 3 months minimum. But after 3 months, I like to set people free, all right, because they have enough tools in their toolbox to be able to work on themselves, and they should know themselves enough to integrate what tools they need to heal physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, nutritionally. By that stage, everything should be very much well and truly on the way, because the body's very responsive and receptive to the right medicine. Yeah, it loves you. Yeah, and it will love you very quickly. That's the thing. You can turn it around quickly, guys, but that's what it takes too. So, you could be one day feeling amazing, getting great results. You're 10 days into it. Oh my God, Lian, I feel fantastic, amazing. 2 days later, something comes up, or you've got a call, and then I'm guided to work intuitively as well, not with all my trainings. Not only that's another level, right? So I know what people are ready for. So then all of a sudden you get on a call and you think you're going to talk about the last nutrition that we were talking about, and all of a sudden something will raise its head, and maybe emotional or a trauma or something. They're like, oh, I was like, yep.
We're going to dive there.
We're going there. And they're like, yeah. So, and that's the truly incredible thing about the work too, because that's it. There is no cookie cut model. It's like, yeah, left, right, up, down, sideways.
You just, hold on, strap the seatbelt and just go.
Oh, hell yeah, you need a seatbelt.
You need a seatbelt. Sometimes the seatbelt falls off though, so we should be.
It doesn't it? Oh,
wait, I thought it was safe. Yeah, it's and what I believe is another vetted area of a healer, true healer, like you said, is you can move into this intuitive realm, but there's also that evolution constantly. So it's like you as a healer can't even catch up with all the things that you can now move through and into, which means a true healer, because you're healing, you're evolving and transforming you as you're transforming other people. And so it's kind of like this constant, I think it's a beautiful synergistic energy that happens, is because modalities, this is what's wrong with traditional medicine, conventional medicine, is you learn one little thing and then that's it.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. And that's generally exactly right. Learn one little thing. I mean, are you lucky to learn one little thing? Or is it you make an appointment, you walk into a doctor, oh, I've got a really bad gut. You get a blood test. Oh, you've got H. pylori. Okay, you need to take 3 antibiotics all at once to kill the H. pylori. Oh, do I? Okay, here's the script. Go and get it, fill it, take it. Go back 3 months later. Oh, you've still got the H. pylori. Why? Why do I have the H. pylori? It's like, because did they ask you how you eat, drink, stress, how much stress? Where does the H. pylori come from? Yeah,
exactly.
That's what we've got to think, guys. We've got to start thinking what that diagnosis is like. Yeah, but where? How? Start asking this question. Ask doctors. They won't know. They'll be like, oh, well, maybe I don't know. Not all doctors, some doctors, and I'm certainly not giving doctors a hard time. I totally believe that it's an older paradigm of treating. Medical doctors, I believe, they do have their place absolutely in emergency situations, but we're not talking that, guys. And hopefully you won't get to that if you apply the work. That's where we don't want you there. Let's avoid that situation.
Yes. Let's just not go there and have to pay $2,000 for a CT scan or,
Yeah, let's prevent that. It's all about prevention. And people are so interesting now. People are like, oh, well, that's expensive. I'm like, what's expensive? What, your health is expensive? To be the best person you can is expensive? But I totally get that as well, because so many people I work with in so much pain that have been 20 years trying to find somebody. They know what is wrong with them. Well, they kind of know, but they don't know how, why, when, all of that stuff, yeah? They're tired. They've spent, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 And some of the things I hear is just truly, it's astonishing. It never ceases to amaze me what these people are being told. And they're not healed. They're more frustrated than ever. They're more tired than ever. So most people, by the time they end up in front of someone like myself, they're very skeptical, which I get because they've heard it before too, right? There's all these promises as well. So, I totally understand that side of things.
Right. Exactly. Right. But, it is feeling through the right and finding the right, what I think that we often do when we step into the desire to be healed and to find the right humans to do that. We need to remember, I remember that I went into, traditional medicine because these roads will cross and mix because that's just how this goes. And there are MDs, of course, that are holistic as well. So, it just depends on where we're going with this journey, but I'll never forget where, you get shut down or, someone will place like their stuff on you. Like I remember I went to a healer who said that him being constantly late to the appointment, like an hour late to our appointment, is part of the journey. We have every right to stand up and say, no, it's not. Bye. Wow. So there's that we need to be empowered. It's also about empowering ourselves. Like you said, we know. And we need to trust that more often, because if we're really connecting with the person that we're going to heal with, we can be like, I think you understand, but maybe it's not perfect for me right now. So let's go over here. Right.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. Yeah. Start listening to yourselves. Yeah. The answers are there. They're all there within us. They are. Yeah.
They are. Okay, well, so how can people get in touch with you? Where should they go first to figure, just make that first step? That's the important step. The first step, take action.
I have my website, which is lianmonley.com, and I'm on all the social media platforms as well, the Facebook, the Instagram, the LinkedIn.
All the things.
Yeah, actually, I do have a private group as well for people that, I like to put people in there, and I'm the person, obviously, that heads that up and answers people's questions and things like that too. So there's quite a variety of platforms there that people can sort of integrate into. Yeah. Perfect.
And is there one last little tidbit that you want to leave with people? Just in terms of what, health, anything, your message, some important aspect that you want to just leave on the table before we close?
Yeah, the thing that's actually been present this whole time sitting here is the words evolve or repeat. Evolve or repeat. You choose, guys. And just those two words, they're so powerful. They really, really are. Yeah. And that's, I think when I read those words once, I was like, oh, that's a good trigger. That really stops people and is like, do I want to continue to feel like crap and be sick? Or do I actually want to step out of that zone and evolve?
I love that.
Yeah.
Right. You choose. Lian.
Yep, you choose.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be connected. Thank you for sharing your gifts with the world. And I cannot wait to watch you transform and evolve. And of course, everyone, please, get in touch for any questions and connecting, because again, you choose, and the best thing that you can do is to take action now. Thank you. Thank you for listening to today's episode. And please, in the meantime, if you know anyone or you want to pitch your story, please get in touch with us at disruptnowprogram.com, or you can get in touch with me on Instagram at disruptwithnatalie, Of course, all the information is on our website. Again, thank you. And in the meantime, remember, no status quo.